perfectly. Then they sent Tomahawks in. They sent 30 Tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as Trump said, because I said obliterated. Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very... Think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon. The moon was low for a reason. What time we picked it. Couldn't see anything. And they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. The flying wing.
But you still see no reason for the U.S. military to get involved in Gaza?
No, I don't see that. No, I think we're going to handle it very well. We'll be helping Israel. But we have other countries that are now. We signed, many countries signed. And many of those countries relatively are very strong military powers. And Hamas has no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran. And now Iran says, don't get us involved. The last time they got them involved didn't work out too well. So they used to have the support of Iran. Today, Iran they're trying to survive. When I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon, I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. I said, the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon. It didn't work out. And if they did a nuclear weapon before they got even close, that site would be attacked and it would be wiped out. Yeah.
Mr. President, you're meeting with President Xi in a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. They've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We're making a good deal. And then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? Two nuclear powers. We are thinking about, I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here 2 weeks ago, said that man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive tariffs, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country. Because if we don't win that case, we will be a weakened, troubled, financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world. And all we're doing is using them as a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to charge. And we're allowed to do whatever we want. We just had presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars, I would say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them, 5 or 6. Without the tariffs, you have wars raging all over the world. With the tariffs, Other than Russia, we have no wars out there. And we've made a lot of good friends, too. Tariffs are so important to our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we don't have national security. Our country would suffer a level that, because they use so strongly on us. As an example, the European Union, they won't take our cars, they won't take our agriculture, they won't take anything, but they send their cars in, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, by the millions. We don't send any cars. They don't take them. They were tariffing us out. Agricultural products, they don't take our agriculture. They want their farmers to do it. I understand that. But it was very unfair, and they were tariffing our product. They're keeping out by using tariffs. And we didn't use them, but I used them. And now we made one of the great deals with Europe. $650 billion they pay us, and we've evened it out. It's really a good thing to see. And you have to understand, they've all signed. Japan, South Korea. I mean, South Korea, $350 billion up front. Japan, $650 billion. And they've all agreed to it. They're all happy. But before, it was a total ripoff. And if we don't have the use of tariffs, we have no national security. This country will have no financial security, will not have national security. And the people that brought the lawsuit are people that are aligned with foreign nations that are now being treated fairly as opposed to just ripping us off and ripping us asunder. So, but if we are not allowed to use what other people use against us, there's no defense. It'll be a disaster for America. That's why I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court to watch it. I've not done that, and I had some pretty big cases. I think it's one of the most important cases ever brought, because we will be defenseless against the world. Okay?
You'll go to the tariff case?
Did you have one? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you about the Georgia Senate race. I know it's very early, but there's several Republicans in that field that are vying for your endorsement.
A lot of good people in that field.
Yes.
I know all of them, actually. I haven't made a decision on that, but you have some very good people in the Georgia Senate race.
Well, Governor
What else?
has endorsed.
No, I know. The governor has, and he's spoken to me about it a lot. He likes that candidate a lot. And I understand that. I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm following that race very carefully. I think it's very important for Georgia to get a real senator, because the senator they have now is a horrible senator. He allows all the crime, all the borders. You have open borders. I mean, his whole philosophy is a disaster. That's not representative of the people of Georgia. I know the people of Georgia. I won Georgia 3 times, but they say twice. Okay, I won it very big the last time, and I won it big the first time, and I won it big the second time. But we had criminals that didn't allow. I mean, I hope they're going to go into that. I hope they go into the votes which are being stored in Fulton County and take a real look at those votes, okay? Because I won it the second time, too. But I know Georgia very well. I love Georgia. Those people are great, and they deserve a good senator, because the man they have now is a weak, ineffective person. Okay.
New Jersey and Virginia.
President, I wonder what you make
Mr.
of it. By the way, you won Georgia 3 times. Just
Yeah, I agree. Do you agree with me?
I
And
do.
he's the media.
For someone that
He's the media.
spends a lot of time in Georgia, I believe you won that.
Yeah, okay.
I really have a question about
You know, the word believe isn't strong enough, right?
Yeah,
You
I
know.
there you go.
It's true. I know I won, too. We have the great Newt Gingrich. Newt, you agree with us? Good. Otherwise, I'd have him dismissed immediately from the room. You know, his wife, as you know, is becoming an ambassador to a great country, Callista, so congratulations. And we're going to take a picture. And the only reason I'm doing it, he speaks so well of me. He said, I'll go down as the greatest president in history. And then he blew it. He said, I'm not sure if I put him above Washington or Lincoln. So I'm not that happy about that, dude.
I've got a question about the weaponization of the DOJ. The media often says your department is weaponizing
Yeah,
the DOJ.
yeah, that's
Now,
the opposite.
It's the opposite. Todd, you represented President Trump and probably the greatest weaponization of the DOJ by Alvin Bragg. You know firsthand, if you can describe what you saw under the Biden administration and how they weaponized the DOJ.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to describe what happened those last 4 years against President Trump. Alvin Bragg, a local prosecutor,
his office staffed by somebody from DOJ. Jack Smith, picked as a special counselor, staffs his entire office with DOJ prosecutors. And then there are countless things that happened, all in writing, most of them on the docket, that require no explanation except a complete abomination of the place that the Attorney General and I run now, and Director Patel. So when people talk about this department weaponizing, it's embarrassing. Because there's no scenario in which you can look at what we're doing, restoring justice, doing the right thing in every single case, and say that that's weaponization, and yet remain eerily silent about what happened for the past 3 years. I mean, you read these articles, giggle, because it cannot be true that people really think that what they did to him, not once, not twice, I'm still counting 3, 4 times, but we're the ones that are weaponizing. So this man is not weaponizing the Department of Justice. We're not weaponizing the Department of Justice. It's the opposite. I mean, and also, nobody questions what I'm saying because it's true, because we all lived the past 4 years. So listen.
They never want to bring up the details, but I watch the fake news, and oh, he's weaponized, and he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot. Who would have thought it turned out to my favor? Because it was a good shot. But I had to take a mugshot. It's right out there in the door. New York Post, front page of every paper in the world. I had a mugshot. They wanted to send me, nobody says that. They say, he's acting very, very tough. He's acting unfair. Let me tell you, if they've been nice to anybody, it's to those criminals, because they are so good having to do with all of the things we're talking about today with violent crime. But if anything, I think this Justice Department has been so respectful of the law, because the other Justice Department, with Rita or Lisa and all of that scum, real scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low, okay? It was descending rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent is legendary, worse than any third world country, banana republic. And what we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know, they say the 2 worst treated presidents by the media, etc., was that man right there, the late, great Abraham Lincoln, and this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terribly. They give him number 1 and number 2, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number 1 times 10. Nobody's been treated like I've been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in history, et cetera. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part, we had a horrible thing called COVID, and we handled that well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. We did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, the Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job, but we had to focus on that. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. It hit another all-time high today. That's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number, we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our country. And they understand that. So we have medical companies coming over. We have the AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating. I'm letting these massive plants build their own electric generating plants. They're becoming utilities in addition to everything. Maybe they'll make more money with that, who knows? But they're building their own electric because we have an old grid. You wouldn't be able to do that. And we're dominating China, we're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet, that's the new whatever. So we're very happy with the job we're doing. I'm very happy with the job they're doing. But when you tell me about attacking a political opponent, there's never been, and I'm a legitimate opponent. I watched my son. He's got the #1 best-selling book now. My son, Eric, he's a wonderful kid. That guy spent so much time with subpoenas. He got more subpoenas than anybody in the history of our country. Think of it. And he's an innocent, good boy. He's a good kid. He's always been a good kid. All of my children are good. They went through hell. My children went through federal grand juries on a hoax. Think of it. You have Adam Schiff and Hillary Clinton and others make up a hoax and then wanting to put, so they know it's a hoax, and they go before the press, say Donald Trump Jr. will go to jail because of what he's done with Russia. I'll never forget, I get a call from my son, Don, and he said, Dad, I'm being accused of something with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia. He didn't know anything about, think of it, how bad they are. They say he'll go to prison for the rest of his life. He knew nothing about it. On a hoax, the Russian hoax, Russia hoax, on a story that they made up. And they made it up in order to explain why Hillary Clinton lost an election that she lost by pretty good numbers. The second one, actually the second one was even better, but the third one, this one was too big to rig. It was just too big to rig. They would have rigged. They tried to rig it. But think of it. They want to send my children to jail, but they were after Don in particular. I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to impeach me based on the conversation that was made up. When they heard the tape, everybody, you know, I won it unanimously in the Republican Party. I got every single vote, something that never happens, and I beat it. But think of it, they want to put my son in jail for something that they made up. So they know they made it up. And they say he will serve the rest of his life in prison. These are sick, bad people. And don't tell me about us going after them. If anything, we've been very, very soft. I wouldn't be that soft, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's talk.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thank you, guys.
अमेरिकी सदर की गुफ्तगू आप मुलाहिजा कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि हमास जंग बंदी बरकरार रखने में नाकाम रहा तो इसराइल दोबारा कार्रवाई कर सकता है। इसराइल चाहे तो हमास को दोबारा सख्त जवाब दे सकता है। फैसला हमास की जानिब से मुआहदे पर अमल दरामद पर मुनहसर है। उन्होंने कहा भारत को रूस से तेल नहीं खरीदना चाहिए। अमेरिकी सदर ट्रंप की FBI डायरेक्टर के साथ गुफ्तगू आप मुलाहिजा कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा वज़ीर आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा कि आपने लाखों जिंदगियां बचाई, मैं अब तक 8 जंगें रुकवा चुका हूँ। रूस यूक्रेन जंग भी खत्म करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। भारत को रूस से तेल नहीं खरीदना चाहिए। मोदी ने रूस से तेल ना खरीदने की यकीन दहानी कराई। पाक भारत जंग में 7 तैयारी कराए गए। पाकिस्तान और भारत एटमी जंग के करीब थे। मैंने 6 जंगों को टैरिफ के जरिए रोका। टैरिफ हमारी सलामती के लिए इंतहाई अहम है। मेरे खिलाफ बाइडेन दौर में महकमा इंसाफ ने इंतकामी कार्रवाई की। अमेरिकी सदर ट्रंप की गुफ्तगू का मुलाहिजा कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि मेरे खिलाफ बाइडेन दौर में महकमा इंसाफ ने इंतकामी कार्रवाई की। टैरिफ हमारी सलामती के लिए इंतहाई अहम है। मैंने 6 जंगों को टैरिफ के जरिए रोका। पाकिस्तान और भारत एटमी जंग के करीब थे। पाक भारत जंग में 7 तैयारी कराए। मोदी ने रूस से तेल ना खरीदने की बात की है। उन्होंने कहा पाक भारत जंग में 7 तैयारी कराए। मोदी ने रूस से तेल ना खरीदने की यकीन दहानी के भारत को रूस से तेल नहीं खरीदना चाहिए। रूस यूक्रेन जंग भी ख़त्म करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। मैं अब तक 8 जंगें रुकवा चुका हूँ। वज़ीर आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा कि आपने लाखों ज़िंदगियाँ बचाईं। वज़ीर आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा कि आपने लाखों ज़िंदगियाँ बचाईं। अमेरिकी सदर ट्रंप की FBI डायरेक्टर के साथ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मुलाहिजा कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि भारत को रूस से तेल नहीं खरीदना चाहिए। उन्होंने कहा कि मेरे बेटे एरिक ट्रंप को कई बार तहकीकात के लिए समन किया गया। स्पीकर नैंसी पेलोसी मेरे बेटे को उम्र कैद की सज़ा देना चाहती थी। मेरी अमेरिकी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में टैरिफ के खिलाफ मुकदमा जीतेंगे।
साहब ने ज़ाहिर है कि काफ़ी चीज़ें क्रिएट की और लेकिन वो कोई हिला बहाना काम नहीं आया। अब ये है कि आपको क्या लगता है कि सूबे के मामलात किस तरफ जाते हुए आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं? क्या आपकी आगे की ऑब्जर्वेशन है इस एतबार से?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं उम्मीद करूंगा कि जो नए मुंतखब वज़ीर आला हैं वो सूबे की बेहतरी, सूबे की भलाई के बारे में सोचेंगे। जो एक उनको मैंडेट मिला है इस हवाले से, और जो वो समझते हैं, क्योंकि वो खुद काबीना के हिस्सा भी रहे हैं, एंड आई एम श्योर ये कोई बातें ढकी छुपी नहीं है उनसे, लेकिन वो देखेंगे कि मेरे सूबे की तरजीहात पे अगर मैं देखूं या तरजीह बुनियादों पे देखूं तो प्रायोरिटीज़ क्या हैं, और वो प्रायोरिटीज़ मेरे ख्याल से फिल वक्त जो है सबसे बड़ी प्रायोरिटी काउंटर टेररिज्म स्ट्रैटेजी है। इस हवाले से कि जो जिसका जिक्र आज मैंने जो सोशल मीडिया पे देखा, तो उनकी पार्टी के बानी ने भी किया कि तमाम तर स्टेक होल्डर्स को, जो कि अच्छी खुशाइन बात है,
लेकिन जो उनकी स्पीच थी उसके अंदर उन्होंने अपने आप को एहतजाजी सियासत का चैंपियन करार दिया। उसके अंदर उन्होंने कहा कि बानी की रिहाई के लिए इकदाम करूंगा, न गवर्नेंस पे बात की। फिर जो दहशतगर्दों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई उसके हवाले से भी उन्होंने जो नजर दिया, मैं चाहूंगा उस पर आप अगर उसको एड्रेस कर पाए।
जी, मैं उस पर बिल्कुल ज़रूर, मैं क्योंकि देखें ये आज की बात है और कल की जो हैपनिंग्स हैं, जो मैंने मीडिया पे भी देखी, अदरवाइज जो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं इनकी पार्टी के सूबाई सदर की, वो ये सारे यही बात कर रहे हैं। असद कैसर साहब हो गए, जुनैद अकबर साहब हो गए, इन्होंने यही